Thank you. Yeah, I saw it, Diana. No camera, it's okay. If the others can turn on their cameras, it's really nice. If not, then we are ready.
Okay, well, greetings everyone. To introduction to Akara Numerology. And before we begin, let's tune in with the Om Namo mantra. Let's bring our hands together. Inhale. Om Namo Guru Namo Om Namo Guru Namo Om Namo Guru Namo. Okay, here we are. So my name is Nam Hari Sat, and I've been a practicing professional numerologist for 27 years. So a little bit of experience there. And one of the beauties of the Akara Numerology system, as Yogi Bhajan has taught it and shared it with us, is that there's a very strong healing component, very strong diagnostic component to it. Yes, we can understand things about our personality, our communication style, our gifts and talents, the best sort of energetic path and frequency of life, even a little bit of information about what we bring with us from past lives. And all of that is good. But considering the times that we're in right now and what's happening on the planet and what is likely to continue to unfold by the time cycles, nearly everyone is looking for help in some way, ways to elevate themselves, ways to clear themselves, health issues. We're certainly not, medical doctors or giving medical advice, but there are things to know about the numbers that they relate to different body systems and even internal organs, as well as the science of the 10 light bodies. So altogether, when you begin to take the step and take the journey of learning this system and this science, just beyond the 5 primary calculations, which I have up here, and we'll go over in a minute, when you begin to understand the advanced calculations and adding that into the mix, you have a very powerful toolkit with which to elevate yourself, know the right path in life, know the correct timing of things, and to do more than just scratch the surface, so to speak. Similar to the analogy, if you don't want any weeds in your garden, if you just go out there with a pair of scissors in the spring, cutting off the top of the weeds, thinking, oh, I did my job. Then 2 weeks later, the weeds are up again. It's like, why didn't that work? It's because you didn't get to the root of the problem. So the beauty of this system is that it allows us to go deeper into the understanding of the psyche of a human being, to recognize the root of the problem, and then through the yogic teachings, through science of humanology, through health and nutrition, to pull out the dead root and invoke a higher frequency of practice and of life, so those weeds don't have to come back on any sort of subtle or energetic level. So that's pretty powerful stuff. So there's nothing like the present moment, and we're going to begin with the present moment through this diagram that I've created here. And these 5 numbers are the basic formula for today, okay? We know that today is December 27th, 2022, and through the 5 primary positions, this present day, like if it was somebody's, birthday today, people being born this day, this is how we would configure their birthday. And I'll briefly go over it for people who are maybe just absolutely new to this and just even wondering what are these fractions. So up here on the upper left-hand corner, I have the number 9. And this calculation is the day of birth. We call this the soul number, which is the basic personality. And in this science, we recognize the numbers 1 to 11, and anything over 11, we reduce back down to a number 1 to 11. So 27 is over 11, 2 and 7 is 9. We'd say that the soul energy of this day is a 9, okay? Beneath here, we have the mastery position, what someone's come here to master in this lifetime, what doesn't come easy, okay? Has a lot to do with relationships. So it's December, the 12 is over 11, so 1 and 2 is 3. So the mastery number for today is a 3. Over here, we have what's called the gift number, and that would be any individual's natural God-given talent and ability, what people readily notice about you, what's easy for you to do, what's easy for you to maintain. That's the last 2 digits of the year of birth. So we're in 2022, 2 and 2 is 4. Today has a gift number of 4. Beneath that, we have the number 6, and that's called the knowledge position. That's what you bring with you from past lives, just a way of being or a talent or an inner knowingness. And that's the entire year of birth. So 2022, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. For today, the knowledge position is a 6. Then the one lone number over here on the far right-hand side is the path number. And for any person, that's the energy of your life path and what's going to bring you the greatest happiness and fulfillment, where things are going to work for you and work and flow for you. Very important number to know. The path number is all the numbers together, adding up the month, the day, and the year of birth, and then reducing that back down to a number from 1 to 11. So today's path number is a 9. Now, let me tell you, if you're doing this for your own birth date, a little shortcut method is something called, you can do it the long math, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a shortcut method is something called the L form of addition. And that's just when you take the letter L and you superimpose it over the formula. So you'd start up here, you'd go down 9, 9 and 3 is 12, make a right-hand turn, 12, and 6 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9. So that's kind of a shortcut method to calculating the path. So I'm going to talk a little bit about today, because this would be somebody's chart, their basic chart, if they were born today, but also there's something called the universal daily cycle, where each day has a different feel, a different energy. And we've all experienced that. We've all had times where like things are flowing. I feel lucky. I'm hitting all the green lights. And we've all had times where it's just kind of like, what's going on today? It's just like, the call keeps dropping, this feels stuck. People seem kind of, agitated or irritated. That expression, people say there's just something in the air. And they're right, because energy is energy and we all can feel it. So let's talk a little bit just about today and the energy of today. It's a little bit of an emotional day today, okay? First of all, we have this mastery number of 3. And that has to do with our connectivity to other people. And 3 is one of the more emotional numbers. So when it's up, it's really up. It's positive, it's creative, it's nurturing, it's fun-loving. But the pendulum swings wide with the number 3. So when 3 goes negative, it's angry, worrisome, and depressed. And since 3 also represents food, it can be the need to kind of like, where are the donuts, or give me a Coca-Cola, or, I just need some junk food or some comfort food. Not that there's anything wrong with that, from time to time, but 3 does represent food. And on a physiological level, 3 is the liver. So if you have that number 3 or more than 1 3 in your basic formula, then you have a sensitive liver and need to be careful for what you're eating, because you get very affected by your food. So today's an emotional day because not only is the mastery number 3, but when we, again, which if you have an interest in learning this at the advanced level, and we start the program next month towards the end of of January, we begin to learn calculations beyond these 5 primary positions. And one of them is called the challenge calculation. And everyone has a challenge number, and it's the combination of your soul number with your mastery number, and it's your ongoing learning challenge in life. So today's challenge number, 9 plus 3 is 12, and 1 and 2 is 3. We have double 3s. We have a mastery of 3, and we have a challenge number of 3. So there's a little kind of extra, like, sort of like a where is the love kind of feeling, because 3 is nurturing energy. But if nurturing energy is challenged, we may feel like, well, I'd like to be nurtured, but why didn't they return my phone call? Or where's the email? Or why didn't my Amazon package come today? I'm not feeling the love. So it can be get a little cranky sometimes. Now, we talked about this as a solution-oriented system. How are we going to kind of like, okay, I realize I'm being a little emotional, but I don't want to have my whole day ruined by this, or the ship is going to sink just because I'm emotional. I ate 3 donuts. Well, take a walk, okay? Because walking is good for the liver, okay? And one of the best kind of natural sort of liver tonics is to get a nice big 8 to 12 ounce glass of water, and squeeze, like, depending on the size of the lemon, a half or a whole lemon, and a little bit of maple syrup, just enough maple syrup to give it like a slight little sweet aftertaste, and drink that. And that helps to cleanse the liver. And the little bit of maple syrup is good for the blood sugar, boost your blood sugar. And you drink 1 or 2 glasses of that. You take a walk. You watch some funny video on YouTube or something like that. You shift your mood. With the number 3, it's almost like you're dealing with a child. You have to distract them, and sometimes we have to distract ourselves from what's bothering us and get ourselves back on the right track. So that's interesting. Now, another interesting aspect about today has to do with another one of the advanced calculations called the strength calculation. And that's pretty much what it sounds like. It's your strength. It's your kind of, coming forward and coming through ability. And the strength calculation is the combination of the soul and the path. Okay. So double 9s. Isn't that interesting? So 9 and 9 is 18. 18 is the archetype of the humanitarian, but one of the really incredibly powerful jewels and nuggets of this system in its advanced form is when you understand something called transformer numbers. And it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's what transforms it. So 9 and 9 is 18, 1 and 8 is 9. 9 is the most intense number. Okay, so there can be like, when it goes negative, it can be angry, it can be rageful, it can be jealous. And, there could be kind of like, 9 is also sentimental. And as the year is kind of winding down and clearing out, it could be kind of like, why didn't I get the Christmas present I want? Or I remember that one crappy Christmas I had when I was a kid and my brother got the better present. And, there could be some anger, frustration there, because the transformer number is when you subtract. 9 minus 9 is 0. And what happens is a person feels zeroed out. And what gets zeroed out is the ego. It didn't go my way. I didn't get what I wanted. I'm having kind of a negative, sentimental, down memory lane sort of, drawback situation. And that's tough. Also, when the number 9 goes negative, since it's the subtle body, it can feel lost. So you could have had already, or have in the evening, just a little bit of like a lost feeling, like, I don't know, like, what's it all for anyway, or this year, or what's going to happen next year, which doesn't mean that, all the day has to be totally bad. But what you can do to shift it is to do something to support the subtle body, which is the number 9. That will be putting on some beautiful music, lighting a few candles, making yourself a nice little cup of tea, burning some incense, maybe taking a hot bath, and just go. 9 is release and completion. You know what? Okay, a few things went wrong. I'm just letting it go. I'm just going to let it go that, this person did this, or that didn't happen quite the way I wanted to. I'm going to let it all go. I'm going to let my subtle body clear, and tomorrow's a new day. So one of the amazing things about this system is how solution oriented it is. And when we also take another look at this day, but what this would also be for the entire month, there's a calculation called the heart calculation and the heart number, okay? And everyone has a heart number, and it's sort of an emotional frequency of what you have to offer in a relationship and also what you need back. So that's super important for understanding, in any kind of relationship, not just a romantic relationship, but it could be friendship, could be business, could be whatever, okay? And the heart number is the combination of the gift, the last 2 digits of the year of birth. It's a diagonal line of energy to the month of birth, 3. Okay. So 4 and 3 is 7. 7 is called the lonely number in the science of numerology. So on this day, or even throughout this month, because this line of energy, excuse me 1 second here. 7 is water element too. There's at times been kind of this floating element of loneliness or disconnect. And this can even be if you're in a relationship or have children or have friends. It's just kind of feeling a little bit further out there, and all the more need for giving yourself, when necessary, alone time. And sometimes it's good to have that alone time. We all feel lonely sometimes, but also to go, okay, I'm feeling a disconnect now, but let me plan something for the weekend, or let me plan something for Wednesday night. Let me call up so-and-so, or let me go out to this, or let me go to that event, or something with music, because 7 is music and sound, or let me go to a poetry reading because 7 is writing. So the numbers are they're like almost like weather patterns. Okay. And not only is there a weather pattern or an energetic frequency for the day, as this is for today, but there's also one for the month and also one for the year. And what's important to understand for yourself is that every calendar year, whether it's the calendar year on the planet, which is called the universal cycle, or whether it's your personal year cycle, which is calculated through your date of birth. So every calendar year has a spiritual challenge and a spiritual gift, okay? And towards the end of the year, where we're at right now, it's important to resolve the challenge and bring the gift into the new year. So let's talk about that after I drink a little more water for my heart. And we're not going to look at everybody's, individual yearly cycle at this time, but since we're all on the same planet, in the same soup, so to speak, we can look at the universal cycle for the year and understand as a humanity the challenge that is important to resolve and the gift of this year that's important to bring into the new year, 2023. So this is 2022. So 2 + 2 + 2, all the numbers is a 6. So we are in an overall year of number 6. So let's take a look at what the number 6 represents. The number 6 represents the themes of home, family, love, community, because community is an extension of family, the immune system, isn't that interesting, on a physiological level. And 6 also represents justice and fair play, feeling that things are right. And 6 also represents integrity and honesty. Isn't it interesting, as a global experience, how much that has been challenged this year for almost everybody? Somebody's going through something with a sibling or a spouse or a child or a second cousin, things with family, where is the love? How can I make this right? Why can't we have, peace? Okay. Certainly community. Okay. There's a lot of, it's interesting because not only can we look at the total number, 2 + 2 + 2 is 6, but when we want the extra details, when we want the subtleties and nuances, we look at what composes the number. Isn't it interesting? Triple twos. The number 2 represents duality. So much duality on the planet. Get a vaccine, you fool. No, I'll never get vaccinated. This political party. No, they're crooks. It's this political party. So much duality and divisiveness on the planet because of these triple twos. Now, in the positive polarity, the number 2 is harmony, win-win. We can work it out, okay? And certainly there have been steps and measures for, couples, families, communities, when both parties are willing to put down their sword, so to speak, and go, hey, I can't live like this anymore. I want peace too. I want to bring the love back into the situation. Let me meet you halfway kind of energy. So that has been accomplished, but it's very polarized. It's almost kind of like, because of the intensity of the times, there's almost like no middle ground anymore. Either a person is consciously working on themselves to elevate themselves and raise their consciousness and bring light into the world and hopefully get along well and play well with others, so to speak, or it's kind of like what's called cancel culture. I'm cutting you off, I'm cutting you out, delete kind of a thing. And this is very harmful, and unfortunate. And it just, in my personal belief, kind of stems from a lack of an emotional skill set that a lot of people, because of how they were raised or circumstances that they grew up under, are so damaged in a way they don't have the emotional skill set to try and keep up with the times. Okay, one of the beauties of this system, whether you're looking at the day for today, or your own birthday, or someone else's birthday, it's solution oriented towards developing a skill set with which to maintain yourself and elevate your consciousness. So that's very powerful. Okay, looking a little bit further into the number 6 of this year. I mentioned 6 on a physiological level is the immune system. Oh my God. I mean, I get a lot of my news from YouTube because I can't stand the network news. It's just a little too mind bending. And there was this story how in a lot of major cities, they've run out of like cold medicine for children. Okay. They show pictures of, the shelves are bare, or we have to ration it because so many children right now have some kind of flu or virus or whatever it is. And so people's immune systems have been really challenged this year. So taking care of your health and having some type of basic routine or system for yourself, it's no longer a luxury. It's like a part-time job. It's your way of life, okay? That you take a certain maybe core set of vitamins, or you do a particular exercise routine each day, or you do Tai Chi or Qigong or a Kundalini meditation or a yoga set, or you go canoeing, okay? But you do something where you clear yourself so you can be your original self and not just this walking, trash can of just everything that's been dumped on you or thrown at you, okay? So taking care of your health, particularly the immune system and the nervous system, is just the way we all have to roll right now. Then lastly, about this year and the number 6 and mentioning justice, fair play, and the legal system, so much corruption, has been revealed. Doesn't matter, almost like what country you're in or whatever, dishonesty, dishonest candidates, secrecy, corruption, we won't go into the details of it, but yeah, it's just the writing on the wall. So what can we bring from this global experience? Again, we're all in the same soup. From this experience of this year, what can What have we learned that we can bring into 2023, which I'll get to in a minute, that's going to help us, that's going to fortify us, that's going to keep us out of the doom and gloom, or what's it all for kind of space. Okay, well, as I just mentioned, health, that's number one. Don't skimp on your vitamins. Get good quality vitamins for yourself. Figure out what's right for you. I'm not a medical doctor, but you look on almost any kind of, internet, whatever, they say, vitamin C, zinc, those sorts of things, certain amount of milligrams per day to maintain yourself so you have a strong immune system and nervous system. That's just very, very important to be aware of. And then looking at the triple twos that compose the six, okay, 2 represents relationships, but another aspect of the number 2 is boundaries and healthy boundaries. Who do I let in close to me that I can trust? And I know they're, not going to stick it to me in the ribs. And who have I learned, what? God bless you, but I just can't trust you. Okay. And if I let you in too close, you're going to try and take me down with you just because you're so damn angry. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And as much, I've had to just totally change how I operate and maneuver over the previous years, because just being, open and giver and whatever, that's not the right formula for every person and situation. Some people you do quite literally need to keep at arm's length because they just don't have the same code as you. They don't have the same ethics as you. And you actually end up hurting yourself if you're too open or too giving. Okay. And you always, for your own self-respect and self-esteem, need to hold on to a certain amount of your energy to maintain yourself, that you're not getting so energetically or aurically thin that something comes along after you just were in a 2-hour counseling session with someone trying to help them, that something comes along and just splat, you're wiped out, or you catch something because your immune system isn't at a strong enough frequency to push it off and push it back. So that's a really, really vital lesson for these times, is boundaries. Because even as we roll into next year, 2023, which overall is a 7-year with a supportive number of 5, we still have 2 twos in the calendar year. So still the need for strong boundaries. And then let's talk a little bit about next year. So you have a little bit of a sneak preview of what's around the corner. Okay, so next year in 2023, we're going to be in a 7-year on the planet. 7 is our aura, our electromagnetic field. 7 also, the numbers are connected to emotions. And 7 is the emotion or the theme of trust. Trust is going to be, if it's not already, a huge issue on the planet next year. Who do I trust? What information do I trust? What is accurate information? Is what's on the label, is that's what's really in the package? Or when I pick it up, I'm sensing, it says organic, but I'm just not feeling like a good energy from this product. I think I'll put it back and I'll pick something else that I just can feel that is the right thing for me, or I trust the manufacturer. Okay. The numbers are connected to the elements. By the way, the number 6 is the fire element. So there's a fire element has been really strong this past year. Next year is a 7-year. 7 is the water element. And we're seeing it already. We had that huge in the United States snowstorm, the Arctic blast that came down and went through the upper plains like the Dakotas, Iowa, New York City, all of that. Something like over 50 people died, already, because they went out and they got in their car and they got stuck in the storm and they died, so that's snow, that's water element. So next year, the water element is really, really going to go crazy. Okay. and there's just going to be a lot of flooding, a lot of freakish storms, and it's going to affect agriculture. I hate to say it, but it's true. And one of the things that it's going to affect is that if you have like a favorite tea or coffee that you really like, get a few extra boxes, because coffee and tea is going to be affected next year. It's a very water sensitive crop and climate sensitive crop. And there potentially some areas could be effective, and maybe there could be like a shortage of your, favorite coffee or tea. And I kind of feel like you can deal with anything if you have a good cup of coffee or tea in the morning and after that. So might be smart to stock up on a little bit of that now. This is not doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. But the other issue is this: with the 7 and the water element, the polar ice caps are melting kind of at a far more fierce and ferocious pace than what's normally being reported. We're having all this extra water, and water has to go somewhere. And when the storms come, things get stirred up. So things like hurricanes and whatnot, that's going to be more impactful. And flooding in general is going to be more impactful. Not everywhere is going to be affected. I live in New Mexico. That's like honestly not so effective, but it's more coastal areas. It's more coastal areas and other areas that are sensitive, where there might be like a big river or something like that could be affected. So that's important to note. So those are some of the key themes: the issue of trust, getting your own information, knowing how to find information, getting a second opinion on things. Okay. But even more than that, 7 is platform of elevation, the ability to elevate yourself. And there's going to be a lot of good information out there. And there's going to be kind of groundbreaking information like, this is the truth, okay, kind of a thing. So that'll be interesting and shake things up a bit. But the ability to trust yourself and your own instincts and your own inner knowing, because you have a spiritual practice, because that's how you keep yourself clear. And there's a beautiful saying: if you don't have the flow of your own psyche, you will have nothing but anxiety. And there's so many people in anxiety right now because they don't have that flow of their own psyche. Okay. How do I get the flow of my own psyche? How do I have that happen for me? Through a meditative mind, some type of meditation practice. If you're fortunate enough to be in the Kundalini sort of family and tribe, so many wonderful, you can go on YouTube, find very good teachers, doing the meditation with you. You can go to the 3HO website. You can go, other people have their particular thing. You always tune in first, and you set a frequency in the early morning hours that elevates you. You connect with the universal powers and influences that flow of the psyche and that harmony and that connectivity. It's like the cosmic jet stream. And you tap into that cosmic jet stream, and you're chanting different mantras that in tune you with that, and just clear out the thoughts, the insecurities, the just all that is. You have that flow of that psyche, you can be okay, regardless of how crazy things are or how crazy things could potentially get at certain times. Your canoe can stay upright. Okay, you don't have to tip over. Because once you tip over, it's so hard. And, when I was a teenager, I was a Girl Scout, and we used to go on these trips. We went on this canoeing trip. And once the canoe tipped over, and you're out over your head, it is so damn hard with your other, canoe mate to go, come on, push up and flip the canoe over. And then that person has to get to the other side while you get in. And then you have to lean over while they get in. It's like, don't let the canoe tip over. Okay. Stay upright. Keep the flow of your own psyche. Okay. Hold on one second here. I need to turn the heat off in the other room, and I'll be right back. Thank you.
So now, if anyone has any questions, you can always put them in the chat, and I can ask them to Nam Hari. So if there's anything that you need clarity on, then just write it in the chat, okay? And I hope you're enjoying it.
Okay, thank you for waiting. A few more cosmic thoughts came to me on the way to the thermostat. So I mentioned that 7 is the water element, and we have water in our body, right? Depending on who you speak to, we're like, I don't know, somewhere around 70% more or less water. And that water, a lot of it is contained in the bloodstream and the lymphatic system, okay? And when a person gets emotionally negative, the number 7 is experienced as bitterness and resentment. And you're going to see a lot of that in people's behavior next year, a bitterness and resentment, like, why isn't it the way it used to be? Or why did this happen? Or why didn't, X, Y, and Z? And like a toxicity. Okay, how do we deal with that? This is a solution-oriented system. One of the best things you can do for yourself at least once a month, in a perfect world, I'd say every 3 weeks, okay? Get yourself into a good sauna and sweat, okay? Sweat out the toxins, sweat out the negative emotions. Many places these days, there's something called like a day spa. You don't have to go to some, Beverly Hills kind of thing. The spa industry is very popular. Sit or find some access to a sauna, like a good Japanese sauna, that it's just like in 5 minutes, just sheets of sweat coming out of your body. You'd have to run 5 miles to sweat that much. And you can run 5 miles if you want to, and more power to you, but not everyone is capable of that, or maybe in the right climate or whatever. Bring your good spring water with you. And if you want to give that spring water an extra boost, many of you probably have heard something called the Bach flower essences. Beautiful healing system. A man named, he's passed on, a British man, Mr. Bach, found the emotional connectivity and healing of flowers and distilling these flowers in essences. So I suggest getting the original Bach flower essences. You can go online. And there's one called Rescue Remedy, which is a combination of 5 of the different flowers. Like one of them is Star of Bethlehem, and Star of Bethlehem is for shock. Okay, if there's just been some kind of shocking or unsettling, news or something, and there's, 4 other in there. So put some, 4 or 5 drops, let's say, of Rescue Remedy in a quart of water that you bring with you in the sauna. And that way, not only are you sweating, but you're sweating out the negative emotions and helping to heal yourself. Okay, so sweating is super powerful. I mean, you could do it through hiking, you could do it through intense exercise or aerobic exercise, but it's just very thorough and complete. And that way you can also kind of rinse off afterwards. Now, if you really want to go for the gold, okay, I used to live in Los Angeles, and boy, some illusion in Los Angeles. And there was this one place called the Olympic Day Spa, which is a women's Korea spa, best deal in town, only $15 to get in. And they had the really hot sauna, and right next to the sauna, I'm telling you, this is like an old, like yogic, recipe, so to speak, of what to do. And listen, be sensitive to your own health. I'm not a doctor. If you have some kind of heart condition or if you're on heavy medication, this would not be for you. This is if you're like normally healthy. I would sit in the sauna for like about 5 to 10 minutes, and then they had a cold plunge, and you go in the cold plunge, and you're in there for like 3 minutes, go back to the sauna 5 to 10 minutes, cold plunge 3 minutes, one more time, third time sauna, one time cold plunge. What that does is it forces the blood to the skin, okay, and then back to the internal organs, the intensity of the heat and the cold, and it flushes out the capillaries like nothing else. You want healthy capillaries and healthy heart. This is like a yogic kind of traditional practice to do. And the nice thing about this Olympic Day spa, they had this resting area with this heated jade floor and little blankets over on the side and a pillow. And you get your blankets, you put one on the floor, you put down your pillow, you put a blanket over you, and you just like go out. It was like the best thing in the world. So if you have access to that or can create that for yourself in any way, that's a brilliant thing to do next year, let's say every 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. There's so much to talk about. There's certainly more information about next year. There's more information about this system. I'd like to pause for a moment and Sat Kirtan, if you could filter questions. If anybody has any questions about just anything having to do with the science of numerology.
Well, already someone asked, where can I learn more about the numerology?
Okay, well, if you would like to learn more, Sat Kirtan and I, beginning the 3rd week of January, we're starting an 11-week series where you can learn this system at the advanced level from a very strong healing and diagnostic and personal elevation. I'm going to be teaching the numerology part and the calculations and the meanings of the numbers, and the different themes and how they relate to health, how they relate to consciousness. And Sat Kirtan in a separate class is going to be teaching the yogic Kriya meditation or exercise that correlates to that body system or healing or consciousness development. Okay, so Sat Kirtan will send you, because she's sort of the admin person, will send you, or I guess just send everybody, right? Sat Kirtan just send everybody the flyer on that, and it's an 11-week course, and it's on the weekends. I think we have it scheduled for the weekends towards like the evening time, like around this time, and it's I teach a 90-minute class, like I think like on a Saturday night, and Sat Kirtan will teach like I think a 90-minute yoga meditation or something Sunday. So that's an option to learn it at a very high, advanced level, like beyond a book. I mean, books are good. There's lots of books out there, but there's nothing like the human experience and the exchange, and also your questions being answered. You get, there's like little homework assignments you do. I go over those assignments, you get feedback, et cetera, et cetera. There's nothing like that more really kind of hands-on and interactive experience. So that would be, an option for you if you really wanted to kind of go for the gold in learning all this. I think what might be fun is if we take some birthdays. How about that? There's nothing like, what about me? So Sat Kirtan, why don't you pick somebody, or somebody wants to volunteer their birthday, and I'll tell you a little bit about yourself.
All right, before we do that, you can already
sure.
write it in the chat, but one more question.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm wondering what you can tell about the tree in the 2023.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, for next year. Okay, that's a good question. So Sat Kirtan was saying, what about for next year, 2023? We covered the 7, and the 7 is the overall number for next number. Okay, and that's the last 2 digits of the year. So that's 2 and 3 is 5. Okay, 5 is the earth element. So isn't that interesting? We have the water element and we have the earth element. I mean, honestly, there's going to be so much water that a lot of people are going to be displaced. Now, I don't have a magic crystal to tell you exactly where that's going to happen. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen in Iowa, but it makes sense that it would be more coastal area or places that are vulnerable to like mountain runoff, okay, of water and things melting. So we've seen that already. I mean, that's actually not anything entirely new. Hold on one second here. Very dry in New Mexico. I saw something on the news that a lot of people in Sudan have been displaced because of flooding. Hundreds of thousands of people. Sometimes we hear about these things, sometimes we don't. But it's going to get more. It's actually at times going to feel a little biblical, okay, in the sense of that, intensity. And the month that is going to be particularly intense, okay, because not only can we look at the year, but things can peak during certain months. July. Why? Double sevens, okay? Double water element. July's going to be, I mean, I would not be going on a cruise in the Bahamas in July, because I'd just be like, you're out there and all that water, like, who knows what's going to happen? And maybe things will be perfectly fine, okay? But it's going to be very intense for things, havoc, we'll call havoc, okay, happening in July. So, information is power. And when you can maneuver accordingly. And when you have the right information combined with the flow of your own psyche, okay, that it's kind of like this internal compass, as well as being sensitive to the energetic weather patterns out there, you're 10 steps ahead of the game. You protect yourself, you protect your family, you can offer advice where it's going to be reasonably acceptable. The other thing to be aware of, information is an interesting thing. And the reality is not everyone wants to hear it. And one of the interesting things about Yogi Bhajan, sometimes he takes sayings from the Bible and he would kind of bring it to like an Aquarian understanding. And I thought that was pretty cool because he was just very creative and conscious. And then one day I had this bright idea. I think I want to do that too. So I was raised Christian in a very good way, a very healthy way, Episcopalian. I love going to church. I love the stained glass windows. I actually went to Christmas Mass in Santa Fe at St. Francis Cathedral, 9:00 Mass. It was so beautiful, so lovely, all the lovely songs. So I created an Aquarian quote for the Bible is, don't cast your pearls where they won't shine. Okay? You may have all the cosmic truths, but if somebody is such a potato head that they can't get it or they want to hear it, or they're going to act out against you as so obviously, hey, look at the news, people are acting out. Don't set yourself up for that. That's not being a spiritual person. That's being a fool, okay? You save your intelligence and your energy for the right individual or audience who has some level of capacity to understand it or digest it or ask an intelligent question to know more. And that's how you keep yourself alive and healthy as well. Because of the changing of the age that we're all going through, and the frequency is changing on the planet, not everybody can handle this energetic shift, which is literally why so many people are going mental imbalance. So many people are on medication, and it's sad. And I'm not against medication if it's necessary. If somebody's suicidal, hey, get them on antidepressants, create a bridge over troubled water. But being on medication for the rest of your life, if there's potentially some other kind of option, a way to heal yourself, elevate yourself, wouldn't that be the better choice? Some people can hear that, some people can't hear that. So another just, well-known expression, discretion is the better part of valor. Okay. So coming back to that 5, not only is 5 the earth element, 5 is communication. Okay. 5 is travel. Okay. And 5 is also movement and change. So a lot of people are going to be moving. Now, in the numerology science, and that's why I like it as a science, there's a positive polarity and a negative polarity. So let's look at the positive and the negative of the number 5, because 5 is a wild card number in the science of numerology, okay? If someone has a 5, like they're a 5 soul or a 5 gift, they're, quick to comment, they're never short on dialogue, they like to talk, they like adventure, they like change, spontaneity, all those kinds of good things. So there's going to be a lot of communication, a lot of dialogue, a lot of new ideas. There's going to be, 10 different new talk show hosts coming out next year. I want to communicate and whatever. But when 5 goes negative, it's chaos. So I know we're already experiencing chaos, but guess what? By the numbers, there's more chaos and upheaval coming next year, which doesn't mean it lands on your front door. Again, you have your practice, you have your prayers, you have your faith, whatever that is for you, whatever denomination or not that it is for you. And you can keep that protective space in your aura, because 7 is the aura, an electromagnetic field. And with a strong aura, almost kind of like, like the old, remember the original Star Wars, put the force fields up, Scotty, and then the Klingon missiles just bounce right off. Okay. That's a strong aura. That's a strong physical body. That's a strong arc line. That's a strong projective psyche. We are meant to hold a certain space as an example so people can have hope and find the information they need. Okay. And then, that's a great service when you help someone or give them some advice that's appropriate for them. So 5 always kind of kicks up its heels and stirs things up. And I know things have been dynamic already, but 5 is change, and it's going to be also good change and good movement and good information. As much as the good stuff doesn't get sort of covered so much in the regular news, there's really a tremendous amount of good stuff happening in the world, and people connecting and people unifying and sharing information that is clear and that is conscious. And 5 is transformation. Okay, so next year has a very powerful transformative quality for us, where a lot of people are going to be feeling enough is enough. This didn't work, that didn't work. Let me do my research. Let me make some changes. Let me elevate myself and get myself on a better track than where I have been. So 5 is a very kind of powerful number for change, transformation, and communication. So that's good. Yeah. A mixed bag. Okay. So, yep, go ahead.
I have dates.
Okay.
The first one I picked is 17 of April 1986.
Okay, April 17th, 86. So
68,
this person is an 8
68.
soul.
It's not 86, it's 68. I'm sorry.
68?
Yeah, so it's 19698.
Okay, no worries. We'll fix that.
But
15, 5. Oh, this is so good. Okay. Okay, so
if this is your date of birth, it's nice if you open your camera and your microphone. You can, right?
okay, so we were talking how today had a challenge number of 3, because it's 9 over 3 is 12 is 3. Your challenge number, 8 over 4 is a 12, and 1 and 2 is 3. So you have a tendency to be emotionally reactive, okay? And when you get emotionally reactive, it puts you into fear. The reason it puts you into fear is your soul number is an 8. And when 8 goes negative, it's fearful. In the positive polarity, it's energetic and fearless. So in order to help that you don't slip into fear, insecurity that creates fear, you need to work with your breath and pranayama, because 8 is the breath. The yogis call it the pranic body, and 8 is also the lungs. And if you don't exercise enough, you also have a tendency towards grief and sadness, because when 8 goes negative, it is grief. And then your food scene gets kind of thrown off, or you're drawn to stimulants because you have a number 10 in your base, and 10 is the nervous system, and you start to feel like this lack of control, like I'm losing control, because it's 4 and 6 is 10. 10 always likes to feel in control, and 10 also never likes to look bad too. So not that that's either good or bad, but it just is what it is. It's important that you're doing something in life, in career or education, that you feel passionate about. Why do I say that? Because your path number is a 9. And 9 can do almost anything. 9 could be a great chef, 9 could be an actress, 9 could be, a wonderful teacher or professor. It could be in the medical profession, but 9 represents passion, and there's many kinds of passion. There's physical passion, there's emotional passion, there's intellectual passion. And so whatever you're doing, it's important you're not just like doing it for money, or you're doing it because of some parental pressure or something like that. You're excited about it, because whatever you feel excited and motivated about, and you focus, because 9 can have tremendous, you will be successful, because you have a lucky star over you. Careful in the area of relationships, and be patient. If you're not in a relationship and you want to be patient in finding someone, and if you are in a relationship and it's good, that's wonderful. And if it's not good, then consider some kind of shift or change. Okay, next birthday.
Thank you. That's a lot of information.
All right, let me get a new piece of chalk.
I'll have to do next year. Thanks.
Okay, Sat Kirtan.
The next one is 2 of February 1973. So 2
Oh boy. All right.
February
2nd, 1973. Okay. Chalk's being a little funny today, but don't worry, I'll go over everything twice. 73 is 10 over 11, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is February 2nd, 1973. You've been through a lot. You've got these double 2s. Remember what I said about 2 and boundaries? Boundaries. You need to become more firm within yourself of your ability to say no to whatever's not appropriate to you. Whether it's somebody asking for a favor, or it's something at work, or it's something in the family dynamic. Otherwise, you'll be eaten alive by other people's needs and other people's complaints. Because then if you're kind of known as somebody who's like a giver, and then you try and come through and it doesn't work out, then they get angry at you, and that's not good. This configuration absolutely requires some type of spiritual practice, some type of meditation. If not, you have this karmic thing with betrayal, where you trust the wrong people, and then they let you down and you feel done in. And that's a terrible way to live. And it doesn't have to go on like that. The situation can be remedied through mantra. Do you do any kind of, are you in the Kundalini family? Are you aware of that? Can you get an answer from her, Sat Kirtan?
Sorry, I had to unmute. So I have no camera, so you only hear my voice. But
the voice is all I need. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm practicing Kundalini now for, I think, 5 years. I'm not in the family.
Okay, great.
But,
that's all I need to know. So you need to
yeah.
do the Ardas Pai mantra, okay?
What did you say?
Ardas Pai mantra. You know that one?
Maybe.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to her. Send her the one I sent you, Sat Kirtan, the more recent one. It was in a forecast. Send her that one and start chanting that 11 minutes a day.
Okay.
Otherwise, you get into this dream or imagination space about other people that's not real, and you always get let down. Okay, so you need to kind of erase that, not that you can't have an imagination, but it's a negative imagination of who they're going to be for you, or how they're going to come through for you, or how they're going to be your best friend, or whatever. And it's not grounded. Okay, so you need to clear that out and reprogram. Okay, so do the Ardhaspai meditation mantra for chanting 11 minutes a day, and continue with the rest of your practice. And then if you can do that, then there can be some very good things for you next year. Okay, because next year you're going to be an 11 year. 11 is your past life number, and you can pick up 1 or 2 good new friends next year. Okay, and that's always, there's nothing like a good friend in these times, let me tell you.
That would be nice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, Sat Kirtan.
One more. I pick 6/4.
No, just tell me the date of birth.
6th of April in 1996.
Okay, April 6, 96?
69. I always say it wrong.
69, okay.
I'm sorry. I need to.
Don't worry about it. Okay, April 6, 69. So this person has a number 6, soul, 4. Oh, it's good. Okay. You're always in a hurry, okay? You need to slow down a little bit. That's because of these double 6s in what's called the projection, the soul, and the gift. 6 is always in a hurry, and you're kind of like, double in a hurry, and you like things to be perfect. And it's not a perfect world. Forget about it, You need to be, you have very high ideals. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to be a little easier on yourself so you can be easier on others. Okay, because you do have a controlling side. Can be a little over controlling and get frustrated when why aren't you behaving this way? Or it's just so obvious, and it would be just so better if you came up to speed. And not everybody's going to come up to speed. Some people are just going to be what they're going to be. So if you can make this kind of little emotional adjustment, then you don't have to experience so much disappointment and so much letdown in your life. You have the numbers of somebody who helps people, like a nurse or a healer, or it could be even be something in administration, where you help people. You're a communicator, but you have to be very careful in relationships. Are you presently in a relationship or not? Can you find out, Sat Kirtan?
Can you open the mic? When is this? Let me see, who is this? Marijke. Can you on? It's you.
Did you get an answer, Sat Kirtan?
Not yet. She's trying. Marijke, can you open your mic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, I wasn't.
That's
yes,
okay.
I am.
Are you presently in a relationship or
Yes.
not?
I am. Yes.
How's it, just in a nutshell, how's it going?
It's going well, but he's also he's kind of like a very sweet person. So no
very what
pressure from
person?
the. He's a very sweet person, very
Oh, that's what I
kind.
thought you said.
Yeah.
Okay, good. If you have somebody that's sweet, then stick with them. Okay. You're lucky. That's a good thing. Next year's a very powerful year for you, where if you're doing something that you enjoy career-wise, you're going to go up to the next step, the next level.
Oh, okay.
Like a promotion, expansion, more money, kind of thing. So that's really good. So you have somebody who's sweet, and next year's a good year. Good for you. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, one more. We'll do this one more. Who's the one lucky ducky?
Please, I only look at the numbers. I didn't look at the names, so don't take me personally. I will do the 3 of November 1975.
Okay. November 3rd,
If this
75.
is already open your mic.
November 3rd, 75.
Yes, 3rd of
Okay.
November.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. You're picking good ones.
I like to do that.
Oh my goodness. Emotional you. Oh my God. You've got double threes. Your soul number is a 3. Your gift number is a 3, which also makes your strength and you've got quadruple 3s. A lot of creativity. You really like to help people. You'd be like, and you're intelligent. You'd be any kind of like good teacher or helper or counselor. But you also have a very strong stubborn side because of fear. Okay. And that's coming from the double 14-5. So 3 and 11 is 14-5. Your heart number 3 and 11 is 14-5. You weren't allowed to be who you really were as a child. There was like a penalty for being your genuine, expressive, happy self. There was some kind of like block or not being able to like express or act out or communicate. So that created kind of like a subliminal fear. So you need to do like a lot of stretching for your physical body, different kinds of exercise, things that are fun. Okay. What just came through intuitively, there's this new game sport called pickleball. Pickleball, like the vegetable pickle, pickleball, that's easy to do, doesn't even in a cold climate, they have indoor courts and whatnot, moving around, very social. You need social energy, be physically active and fluid. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll end up having health problems later in life. Now, I did not just predict that you're having health problems later in life. I want to be clear about that. I'm saying if you don't take steps and actions now to keep your body, you also massage from like a good massage therapist, that tension doesn't build up, okay? And you keep your body and your circulation, exercise fluid and healthy and fun things, then you can be okay. Then you can live a long and healthy life. And you're very intelligent, so it's going to be easy for you to, make whatever changes you need to make to elevate yourself or get the right information. What do you do for a living?
I'm consulting.
Consultant. Okay, perfect. With people. You're a people person and you really enjoy helping people and you're very good at it. Okay. And you can be a consultant, for the rest of your life and do well. So bravo on that, but definitely pay attention. Yeah, pay attention to your health. You also may have some food sensitivities or allergies. Okay, it could be allergies or it could just be like, oh, I always get a little sleepy when I eat this. And next year, it's going to kind of like catch, if you don't start paying attention to it now, it's going to start to kind of act up a little bit. Your liver is going to say, hey, you can't keep doing this to me anymore. I can't eat this, can't digest this particular thing. So the wonderful thing is these days there's a substitute for anything. If you can't handle dairy, there's 10 different kinds of milk. There's oat milk, there's flax milk, there's cashew milk, and everything tastes wonderful. Or bread. If you can't handle wheat, there's oat bread, there's this bread, there's zucchini bread. Just get your food is going to be very important for you next year. And if you get your food scene organized in a proper way, you're going to do well and flourish. And if you don't, you're not going to be such a happy camper. Okay. So food is big time adjustment for you in 2023. And you do that and it'll be smooth sailing. Okay. Very good. I think we've done enough for today. Anything else, Kirtan, that you want to say or add?
No, I think it was beautiful.
Okay, so we always close in prayer. So, and Sat Kirtan, we're gonna do 3 long Sat Nams. I'm gonna say a prayer, and then I'm going to check out because there's something else I need to take care of. Sat Kirtan can stay on a little bit longer if you have any further questions or things you need to clarify. Okay, so let's come together with our hands in prayer pose. Inhale. So no. So no. So no. O formless in every form, unbound yet bound by the power of love. May God's grace and blessings descend upon us, giving us the elevation of spirit, the clarity of vision, the sureness of step on the path ahead, in all lightness and brightness of our soul's journey homeward, with goodwill to all. And may we have peace on this earth. Satnam. Okay, this has been lovely. Also, if anybody is interested in a personal reading, you can contact me about that. But for right now, we are good to go. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, if anyone would like to just say like one word, what is it that you take away from this workshop, lecture? It's lovely to hear. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. If you want more information about the course that starts on the 20th of January, let me know. And yeah, it was lovely to be with you. So please share one or two or three or five words.
A big thank you. And I will definitely get the personal reading, and because I've never really understood the whole thing.
But he's really like the source. He learned from Yogi Bhajan for 7 years.
Yeah.
Is you can feel it in the energy.
Yeah, because she has a high vibe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And she, at the end of everything, she turns it into positive. That what can you do about it? And
Yes.
that's very, very important.
Yes, it's really like it's the solution-oriented method. It's not okay. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we see the problems, but their solutions are there as well. And every number has this negative polarity and this positive polarity, and it's always the balance.
Yeah, that's why I like Kundalini Yoga. It always ends up, to the, positive side.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Nice to meet
Thanks.
you again.
Yeah, thanks, Sat Kirtan.
You're welcome. No. I'm sorry if I didn't pick you, but I was looking at the numbers so that she could say anything about it. Like the
No, but I think for me it's a sign that I need a little bit more than 5 minutes, so I can get I will get the personal,
Yes,
meeting.
that's a good idea
So
too.
I will dive a little bit deeper. Okay,
that's a
thanks.
good idea.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Everything is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can also open your chat and say it. It's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was really very interesting. I had no idea about this kind of numerology before, but I thought it was also interesting what you said about like the global developments and about the past year and all these different aspects and how they were interconnected.
Yeah, it's amazing, and when you know it, you just want to learn more and more and more. Yeah, at least this is what I had.
Yeah, I can totally understand.
Yeah. So yeah, nice. Well, if you want to learn more, I'll send you the information. All of you have registered, so we have your email and telephone numbers, so contact you. I'll fly tomorrow, so I will do it when I'm on my holiday. So,
Safe travel for you.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to the sun and the water.
Ah, where are you going?
I'm going back to Sri Lanka.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so I hope there's
nice.
not going to be a tsunami there, because that's
Oh,
the place there was a tsunami before, but
yes. Oh, yeah. No, it won't happen.
it won't happen.
No. It's a
No.
positive thing. No. It was very interesting.
The mantra dhyana is Ardas Bahi. If you send me a personal message, that will be good. Then I will find it for you. Okay. Don't do it here on the chat, but just send me a message on my email or on my WhatsApp if you have it, because I can easily answer there. All right. Have a beautiful evening. Nice being with you. Sat Nam.